to another installment of my weekly Tezos updates. I believe I started doing these maybe 4 to 5 weeks ago. I am now approaching about 150 subscribers and almost 5,000 views between the 4 videos that I have. So thank you guys so much for finding what I have to say valuable, important, and relevant to blockchain technology and things like that. Mike Monahan hit me up on Twitter today and told me to go check out a video that was posted by This Week in Startups on YouTube. The video presents Tim Draper and Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, and they talk about the maturity of blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, and they touch on ICOs and what they're going through at this point. In terms of development, and I'll talk about that in a minute. In terms of development with the Tezos project, everything's coming along great. There is now a Android-operated Tezbox wallet made by Stephen Andrews. I'll post a link for that at the bottom of the comments, along with the link for the Arthur Brightman development update. In terms of development, Arthur is saying that, you know, they're starting to work on all the documentation. They reset the AlphaNet, so it's much more stable now. And yeah, they're still getting the business, and we're starting to get to the point now where it looks like Tezos is getting ready to launch, and it's, you know, the blockchain is going to be stable and secure at launch. And so it's just tying up all those odds and ends and things like that, setting up the delegation services and making sure that all of that stuff is compatible with the core protocol. And again, remember, unlike Ethereum and a lot of other blockchain technologies and stuff like that, Tezos is going to be able to scale. Okay, point blank period. It also uses OCaml and formal verification. These are they chose to go with these languages, unlike Ethereum and JavaScript, basically, in order to facilitate more security on the code, so you minimize hacks like the DAO and accidents like this last parity thing and then the first parity hack, right? Costing investors just, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars. You cannot sustain yourself as a blockchain at every time, you know, just costing people that much money. I think the real reason why you don't see a lot of people jumping out of Ethereum is because they have nothing else to put their money into at this point. They just don't. And so it's better to stay put. But at 20 to 30 transactions per second, it's only a matter of time. I'm not a financial advisor by any means, so you have to do all your own research on these things. But the name of the game, dude, is scalability, security, and at this point, governance. And Tezos is offering governance that increases coordination, that avoids forks, that splits values. You know what I mean? Imagine Tezos being $30 billion, right? And its market cap. And because it lacked the ability to scale and to update its chain on chain, it starts to become 22 million here, 22 million there, 22 million there, and so on and so forth. It's like a pie. That's what the Ethereum blockchain is starting to look like. Even to scale, they want to bring in these side chains like Raiden and Plasma and things like that. Well, then isn't that just a fork, basically? Right? So people are now going to be using Raiden or Plasma in order to facilitate transactions. So what's the point of Ethereum then? It just doesn't make any sense. And then the ICOs basically have, you know, it's basically a bunch of them are scams, it seems like, because you have these ICOs and they do nothing with development. Whales come in, they buy up a bunch of the product and they dump it on day one as soon as the coins hit the exchange. And then the coins aren't even native to the Ethereum protocol. And so in Tezos, if you have ICOs or any type of decentralized applications being built on top of the Tezos protocol, all of those you need to have the Tezos. You need to have Tezos and XTZs to facilitate the nature of those decentralized applications, and even to contribute to or donate or invest in the ICOs that may happen on the Tezos protocol. So all the value stays within Tezos. From my perspective, I'm putting my money in Tezos. It's just stupid it's stupid to think that I'd put my money into a blockchain or into a protocol, right? That is not able to scale, that is unsecured, and doesn't even have native multi-sig, you know, wallets to facilitate those types of transactions that happen with the last parity incident. And on top of that, isn't proof of stake and uses JavaScript as its coding language. You know, I don't understand. You know, to me, it's not even rocket science. It's common sense, really. And again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm not going to put my money into a blockchain that is not scalable, that doesn't implement proof of stake. And even though it says that it is going to implement proof of stake, recognizing basically that it needs to do that, it's still yet to be seen if it even can do that, right? It doesn't plan on changing the main problem behind its security issues, which is the coding language that it uses, JavaScript. Call it Solidity all you want, but it's JavaScript. Tezos just offers a lot more in terms of longevity. And I feel like my money, personally, is going to be much more, it's going to gain much more value over time than it will ever do in Ethereum. You know, the blockchain is going to change. Blockchain technology in general is going to completely morph the way that financial institutions do business on a daily basis, right? And so at this point, I believe, you know, there's a lot of different projects that are going to be around for the long term, and Tezos is most definitely one of those. Tezos is just launching with the right ideas from the get-go. It's launching from day one with OCaml, and you know, that OCaml is a computer language that is much more secure than JavaScript could ever think of being, you know, could ever be, period, in terms of coding contracts and things like that. It's launching with formal verification. Well, I don't know if that's going to be in version 1, but it'll most definitely be in version 2 of the mainnet. And this is a way of proving that a piece of code is what it says it is. And this increases the security of your blockchain long term. Tezos is going to be able to scale, right, to heights that Ethereum can't even think of scaling to. And it's going to be able to adopt innovation as it grows, as the protocol matures. Tezos will be able to adopt new innovation and new technology that comes into the blockchain space. So it's forever young, right? Unlike Ethereum, which is going to be an old man one day, and Bitcoin is an old man now, right? So Tezos will be forever young in that sense. You know what I mean? Because it's launching with the ability to adapt and to evolve with the technology as the technology, you know, increases and changes the space a bit more. Again, not trying to, I don't mean to toss any dirt on any protocol or anything like that, but based on the facts and the whole point of blockchain technology, Tezos is best positioned to facilitate the financial industry both now and long term with means of micropayments, proof of stake, governance mechanisms, formal verification, security, and all of those good things. From an investor standpoint, I'm going with Tezos, and that's what it's going to be for me, because again, I am investing in the longevity of a protocol. I am investing in Tezos because I believe that Tezos is going to be here 20, 30 years from now as one of the earliest blockchains. And it's going to be forever young. It's still going to look young because it was able to not only scale, but also to adopt all the new innovation and all the new technologies that are introduced as technology evolves, right? It doesn't seem like Ethereum and most definitely Bitcoin can do that. And Ethereum's only processing 20 to 30 transactions per second, and it's been around since 2014. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. You can believe that it's going to be able to do scale or whatever you want, man, but it's not going to be Ethereum doing it. It's going to be Raiden or Plasma that is going to be scaling, not Ethereum. So I don't even see how the money is going to stay within the core protocol. I'm not sure. That's common sense, right? It does not take rocket science to see that. Whereas with Tezos, there will be no, side chains and things like that. And if you do have to fork the network in Tezos, and this is interesting, because if you have to fork the network in Tezos, right, you don't have a split in value like you see in Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. Instead, because of the voting mechanism, it's based on a majority vote. It's a digital commonwealth. It's democracy on a blockchain, right? And so if you have to fork the network because of a major hack or whatever the case may be, everybody, you solve the hack, but at the same time, the entire network and all of the value moves over to the new chain. You don't have a split in value. And it's only a matter of time before you start to see Ethereum become more of that pie that you see with Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. Raiden and Plasma will be another piece of that pie. And so that $30 billion market cap is, again, going to start to look like it's going to start to shave itself off. And because there's no governance mechanism and there's a lack of coordination in the way that Ethereum deals with its issues, whether it's freaking hacks or updates to the protocol, people don't know which way to go. Whereas in Tezos, it's based on a vote, majority wins, true democracy, and all of the value moves over to the new chain. So you don't have these issues, mainly because you had a governance mechanism built in. And that's just things that you cannot add to a protocol once the blockchain is running. Tezos is launching with all of these things, and that's why I see it as a awesome investment going into this new era, and it's gonna change a lot. There's no doubt about that. I also would like to weigh in on something that the moderator said in that video. This week in startups, he looked at Tim Draper and said, "Hey, you know, Tezos raised $232 million at the point of its ICO with no code." Well, that's factually wrong, because Tezos had been in development since 2014, right? Its ICO didn't launch until 2017 in July, okay? And they had an AlphaNet. You know, it can be viewed on GitHub. Like, it was an open source AlphaNet. And so you fundamentally cannot have an AlphaNet if you don't have code. So now, no offense against him, I just don't think he was aware of that. I think, you know, he didn't know that, but you know, that's one of the reasons, most likely, that Tezos was able to raise $232 million in 2 days, is because, you know, a lot of these ICOs, especially on the Ethereum network, have no working product and never will have a working product. And so, you know, basically it's whales come in, they put a bunch of money in, and then they dump it. And then everybody else who was waiting for it to hit a certain price are stuck with these coins and no product ever, right? And so with Tezos, they had a working AlphaNet at the point of its ICO that can be viewed, in addition to, you know, solutions that the white paper was proposing to provide in terms of Ethereum's woes and things like that. Proof of stake, governance mechanisms, formal verification, and a much more secure computer language in order to facilitate smart contracts and things like that. These are the features and the factors that allowed Tezos to raise $232 million, that facilitated that type of growth so fast. Because people see that with Ethereum and these other protocols, they lack these features that are necessary for the longevity of a protocol. And again, you got to remember, Tezos is going to be able to scale. It's 20 times more secure at launch than Ethereum could ever wish of being. And it will be able to adopt and take on these new innovations to blockchain technology and to the space in general as it grows. So not only do you get scalability with Tezos, but you also get adaption and adoption of new technology. And so that's why I say, in the sense, that's why Tezos will be forever young. And Bitcoin is an old man, and Ethereum will become an old man. Tezos will be forever young. And so, yeah, I want to just correct the moderator in the video that I'm going to be posting here, because he was under the impression that Tezos did not have any code at the point of its ICO, and people blindly gave $232 million to this startup because everybody's chasing the get rich dream. Well, that's not true. Tezos did have a working AlphaNet, and you cannot have a working AlphaNet at the point of its ICO, right, without code. Code is the AlphaNet. Also, in terms of development, there is a Tezos mainnet, by the way. Okay, and so the way that you can view the mainnet is you have to make a request. So you go to GitHub. For all you geeks out there, you guys know how to do that. So if you want to see what the mainnet looks like, you just simply make a request. Okay, and you can go view the mainnet. So again, Arthur has stated that they're working on the documentation for the Tezos project and the protocol, and that they reset the AlphaNet, and now that now the AlphaNet is much more stable. But if you would like to view the mainnet, okay, then you can do that by making a request. You have to ask to view it, and you can do that through GitHub. So that is what I have for you guys today. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And shouts out to Mike Monahan for hooking me up with the link for that video. It was a great talk between Brian Armstrong and Tim Draper and the moderator, and I highly suggest all of you guys to go watch it, okay? I will see you guys next week on Saturday, and again, happy Thanksgiving, and have a good one. See you guys later. Bye-bye.